We welcome those of you just joining us to Idaho Central Arena, downtown Boise. Starch Madness, the championship game of the Big Sky Conference Tournament between the 7-seed Idaho Vandals, the 4-seed Montana Grizzlies. And we're tied at 5 in the early stages. Money Williams, the leading scorer in the Big Sky Conference this year, is all 5 points for Montana. And he put up 40 points in the quarterfinal win here on Monday. The shovel and the layup, and Brody Roberry puts Idaho up 7-5.
And how about Colton Mitchell with the dime? I mean, that's a penetrate, get the big fella to help out, and he presents the ball on a platter to the big fella, Roberry.
20 wins for Idaho. They went 9-9. They're the 7th seed. And the Vandals are playing for the 4th time in 5 nights in this tournament. Spinning underneath. And the jump hook in the key, and it rolls in for Tajon Sawyer.
Keep your eye on Tajon Sawyer, Roxy. He's a guy that can make a difference. Just got that medium range. The game can step out, but he's really tough inside. Nice body and finishes.
This past Saturday, Idaho clobbered Sacramento State. And then in the quarterfinal Sunday, beat Montana State. And then last night in the semis, they beat Eastern Washington. Montana wins over Northern Colorado and Portland State to get to this championship game. We're not at 7.
With Spring
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. What a fun atmosphere in downtown Boise with a Big Sky Starch Madness championship game, and Travis DeCuire and the Grizz, who won the championship last season. And they have met 2 previous times in the championship game. Montana winning in 1991. Travis DeCuire was on that Montana team. And Idaho winning the other championship meeting. This is the 212th time Idaho and Montana have played on the hardwood. Money Williams feeds Sawyer inside. The reverse layup and a foul will send Tajon Sawyer to the line, the first on Brody Roberry.
You can see Tajon Sawyer really using his mobility. He's really trying to get around Roberry, uses his body. He's really a difficult player to guard, and I think that's part of the game plan from Coach DeCuire, to get him isolated on the block and maneuver.
Sawyer is 71% foul shooter. And Sawyer with 3 points already, and gives Montana the lead again. Honorable mention, all Big Sky this year for Tajon Sawyer. Has bounced around 2 years at Cal Baptist, a year at the City College of San Francisco, and now in his 3rd year in Missoula. And he goes 1 for 2, and the rebound cleared by the Vandals. Montana has beaten Idaho 9 straight times. The flyby, and now Colton Mitchell. Fall slam! Isaiah Brickner! My goodness! And the rebound grab by Brickner. I know we're in elevation in Boise,
Roxy, come on now.
He got up.
He was shot out of a cannon. Where did he come from? My goodness.
Trayvon Blasingame drives the baseline, and Montana is up 3.
That's what he does. Blasingame can drive the baseline. The Vandals quick to the rim.
Ball knocked away, recovered by Grant Kepley from Montana. Money Williams isolated. Out of the double team, deflected out by Jackson Rasmussen. Will stay down here with the Grizz.
Well, a lot of defensive deflection, but you want to see a guy go in for an offensive rebound. He goes in there high above the rim with the finish. Nobody going to get up there and check him out.
Do I dare say SC top 10?
Oh, my goodness. Roxy, I've had guys box out, but I've had players tell me, Coach, you can't box out a guy that jumps over you. They're right.
Open 3 off the inbound. And the rebound grabbed by Rasmussen for Idaho, but a foul called is the second on Brody Roberry of the Vandals. So the starting big man for Alex Purble in Idaho saddled with 2 fouls and still 14-18 left in the half. Idaho has come in winners of 4 straight, 6 of their last 7, while Montana has won 4 of their last 5. Slicing into the lane. Five to shoot for the Grizz. Money has the ball up top. Money Williams, rainbow 3, missed everything, and that'll be a shot clock violation and a turnover against Montana.
Yeah, Money Williams asking for the foul, but that's a pretty good defense. I mean, meanwhile, though, the Vandals have to live with Roberry there, picking up those fouls. Pretty tight calls on this end of the floor.
Colton Mitchell, honorable mention, All Big Sky, brings it up. Here's the Big Sky freshman of the year, Jackson Rasmussen, backing his way in. Powers his way in the lane. Left it short, and Money Williams pulls it down. Here comes Montana.
You see how active the Vandals have been defensively. I mean, there's been a deflection almost every possession.
Both games were close in the regular season, won by the Grizz. Back in Moscow in early January, a 6-point win for Montana. Then the Grizz won by 5 in Missoula early February. That rattles out with a shot clock expiring from Grant Kepley, and Idaho controls. Last year they played in the Big Sky semis and a 78-55 blowout win for Travis DeCure and Montana. As the Grizz last year went 15-3 in the regular season to win the Big Sky. This year the 4th seed at 10-8. It's Colton Mitchell, 3!
Roxy, I didn't see much of an opening. I mean, he was guarded coming off that screen. No problem. I mean, he just went over the top, and he's playing with confidence. That's what happens when you play in a zone and you play with confidence.
First points for Mitchell. Back the other way. 3 rims out for Tyler Isaac. Here come the Vandals in transition. 7 straight for Idaho. Colton Mitchell makes it 9 in a row for the Vandals.
That shows you why he's so hard to guard. He just got done knocking down a 3. So you crowd him, you play him tight, and he drives you.
Money Williams had it stripped. Pass deflected, stolen. Jackson Rasmussen for Idaho.
And 2 more deflections on the same possession. Vandals really active defensively.
Mitchell behind a screen. And the offensive rebound, Seth Joba. The transfer from Vermont. And stripped from Isaiah Brickner down the lane. Out of bounds to Idaho, but so nice we got to see it again, the dunk from Isaiah Brickner.
Yeah, you like high-flying action? How about Brickner, who decides, hey, I'm going to get an offensive rebound and a putback. He knows what to do. You can't stop that, but it's the Vandals with the early energy and the early lead. They're up 8.
Well, Idaho, the men trying to do something and equal what the women did in a tight ball game. The Idaho Vandals were up big. Montana State came back, but Idaho held off Montana State. And the Idaho women winning the Big Sky Women's Championship earlier today right here, 60-57. And now the men are trying to do what the women did earlier today. And these are, over the years, when the men and women from the same school have won the Big Sky titles. Montana State was the last team to do it in 2022.
Yeah, and only Weber State, the only team other than Montana to do that. So this would be significant, kind of groundbreaking for Idaho. A lot of Idaho fans here supporting the Vandals, men's and women.
Off the inbound, cutting to the bucket, and a foul will send Jack Payne to the line. And a foul on Grant Kepley of Montana. And 2 free throws coming up for Payne, the junior from right here in Boise. And a transfer from Colorado State. Was starting early in the season, but has come off the bench here the last month and a half or so of the season. Payne, 82% from the line at 9 points last night in their semifinal win against Eastern Washington. And Payne makes it 11 straight for Idaho. Down low, Sawyer. And a foul on the block will send Tajon Sawyer to the line for the Grizz.
Yeah, Grizz got to be careful. I mean, the Vandals have to be careful here, because what's happening here is, you're picking up fouls, and there's a foul on Roberry, and he's been foul prone, has to sit on the bench with 2, and this is early. So if you're the Vandals, you might see the zone being employed. Alex Pribble will play the zone, and don't think that Travis Secure won't be attacking and trying to get the ball inside often. Early and often against this squad.
First foul on Jackson Rasmussen, one more for Tajon Sawyer. And Sawyer, with 5 points tonight, has gotten to 1,000 for his college career. And Sawyer pulls Montana to within 8. Pico Johnson, a tough shot in the key, and he gets the roll.
Yeah, the rim was kind, but Pico Johnson knew how to put some English on it, and he's able to get his own. He can do that. He can create a shot for himself and his teammates.
Brooklyn Hicks with 4 threes last night of their win against Portland State was critical. And some big shots for the Grizzlies. Inside 10 to shoot. On the drive. Loose ball run down. Shot clock at 2 for Tyler Isaac. And he doesn't get it off in time. Shot clock violation. Turnover, Montana.
That's really good defense. I mean, just really no openings. And the Vandals, much like the Grizzlies, Roxy, they really play great defense. They're on a string. They stay on the ground. They stay grounded. You got to really work to get good shots off against both of these teams. But right now, the Vandals are exceptional on this end of the floor.
The Grizz just 3 for 12 from the field. A team that on the season is over 49% shooting. They're one of the top 25 teams in the country in field goal percentage.
Yeah, that's getting it done if you can do it against the Grizzlies.
Here's a 3, and that's way off from Seth Jova, pulled down by Montana.
Well, Montana's probably going to try pushing the ball a little more, trying to get a couple of easier baskets before the defense sets up. They're struggling in the half court right now.
Money Williams, a junior from Oakland, California, finds Brooklyn Hicks. Rims out a 3, and the rebound Jackson Rasmussen for Idaho.
A good double team scheme on Williams. They had the double team come from the baseline side, and that's unusual. Most teams double from the middle.
Corner 3, and that's short from Jack Payne. Here comes Brooklyn Hicks pushing for the Grizz. He attacks, gets to the bucket. Offensive rebound and a foul. It's the second on Jackson Rasmussen. That's a problem for Alex Pribble, as Brody Roberry already on the bench with 2.
Well, exactly, and Alex Pribble asking for it over the back. He said, hey, the shot goes up, but you can see him side him out. That's just, that's a good call by the officials. The Vandals are playing aggressively. You got to give them that, but now their aggressiveness is starting to catch up with them as they're finding themselves in a little bit of foul trouble.
Here's Money Williams putting it in. And we'll have to keep an eye on Money Williams tonight, as sometime in the middle of the night, a stomach bug hit him. He was extremely limited at shoot-around. In fact, left shoot-around early. Just wasn't feeling well. Didn't warm up much pre-game. And we'll see how he performs tonight, battling that stomach bug, as Tajon Sawyer inside for the Grizz.
Sawyer's kept his team in this game.
Knocked away, Brooklyn Hicks racing for the ball. Hicks to the bucket, and he's grabbed. A flagrant foul call. Pico Johnson hustling back, called for the foul. The steal and free throws and possession coming for Montana.
He was trying to stop a sure layup, don't think he was trying to injure him. He was just trying to wrap him up here. Just wrap him up, hold him, actually. But when you don't make a play on the ball, generally you're going to get called for that foul, Roxy.
He did make an initial play on the ball, then his momentum carried him into Brooklyn Hicks. Flagrant one has been called on the floor, which is deemed excessive. And again, that means 2 shots for Montana and the basketball for the Grizz.
Yeah, generally a wrap-up. In the NBA, they give you this. They say, okay, that's a foul, no arm. In college basketball, when you wrap both arms around and you hold, that's an excessive foul. It's pretty consistent. If you're going to foul, you hopefully can foul earlier on the floor, but if you grab a jersey, that could be a breakaway or an intentional foul. So either way, you're going to get dinged. Don't think there was any malintent there.
Our officials, Randy McCall, our lead referee, working with Ryan Holmes and Ray Ames. And Lane Barney is our alternate at the table.
You mentioned something. Here's Randy making the call.
After review, the flagrant one foul has been confirmed.
Flagrant one confirmed, so 2 shots for Brooklyn Hicks and possession for Montana.
That's a big break, obviously, for the Grizzlies. They could use a few breaks now, and that's going to put Idaho in the hole now because they've got to play with some foul trouble, and the Grizzlies getting in the bonus here.
8:46 left in the half, and Hicks, transfer from UNLV, is taking over as a starter down the stretch for Travis Zakir after coming off the bench early in the year. And Travis Zakir saying, I was looking for a better start, looking for a jump start to our lineup because we've been getting off to slow starts. And inserting Hicks into the lineup has given that boost that the Grizz have been looking for.
Well, he's had a good tournament, and you're right. He's given his team the lift. Anytime that Monty Williams has gone out and hasn't been often, or they've gone away from him, he's given them a big boost.
Both free throws made by Hicks, and now possession because of the flagrant one belongs to Montana.
Well, that lead now evaporating pretty quickly. Battles off to an early lead. Montana narrowing the gap.
Was 10, it's down to 6. Monty Williams. Sawyer can't handle the pass, and then a foul on Tajon Sawyer of Montana.
Now the crowd, the Vandals, giving an ovation, finally getting the call to go their way. They're emotional, but there you can see just Tajon Sawyer just didn't get the handle. It was a great look by Monty Williams. Generally, that's a basket. That's a foul, and that's even a foul and one. Sawyer trying to make a move before he had it in his hand. Grizzlies picking up now. They're trying to extend their defense, trying to be a little more aggressive. Last time they were able to get a poke away and a break.
Shot clock down to 10. Pico Johnson out near midcourt for the Vandals. Steps into a 3. And the rebound. Running to the corner and saving it is Jack Payne. Pico Johnson is tackled out near midcourt, and a foul on Montana.
Well, how about the save just to keep it in bounds? I mean, great hustle, great. I mean, just hustling. Here you can see keeping the ball alive is Jack Payne, and Pico Johnson going way up just to keep that ball alive.
Second foul on Grant Kepley. Team foul number 3 on the Grizz. Colton Mitchell. Seth Joba spinning inside. And the rebound tipped up and in by Jack Payne.
How about once, how about twice, how about a third? I mean, that's persistence on the offensive glass. Great effort.
Open 3. Nailed by by Tyler Isaac for Montana.
Yeah, that's just a mishap. You score a basket, you shouldn't get beat in transition. No Coach Pribble not happy about that.
Nico Johnson. And the rebound on the weak side, grabbed by Tyler Isaac. Darting to the bucket across the key. Brooklyn Hicks. And the Grizz have cut it to 3.
Brooklyn Hicks is very much giving his team a lead. That's just, I mean, a lift. That's just a huge play. Get his team back in this. See the Grizzlies trying to form a double on the block.
Jack Payne turns middle, rattles it in.
Yeah, the double team left, and you can see how effective the Grizzlies are when they employ it, and how, when they don't, how the Vandals take advantage of it.
Payne was 6 off the bench to lead Idaho. Trajan Sawyer, 3.
He's been a difference maker, and Monty Williams kind of in his absence.
Trajan Sawyer, 10 points and a 35% three-point shooter on the year. Nico Johnson goes to work, and the rebound grabbed by Trajan Sawyer for Montana. Sawyer bulldozed his way inside, lost the ball. Here comes Jack Payne. Payne, and he missed everything, and it's out of bounds, and it belongs to Montana.
Now, how about Brooklyn Hicks? He's been the man on the spot. He's been able to get to the rim for the Grizzlies. He's brought him back in the game. The Grizzlies now only down 2 thanks to Brooklyn Hicks.
With all these Hilton Honors points.
Take a look at the ACC tournament bracket in Charlotte, where just prior to us coming on the air, Clemson knocked off Wake Forest 71-62 in that 4-5 matchup between Carolina and Clemson tomorrow. And the seeds kind of holding form there in the ACC. Well, his alma mater is now in the ACC. That is head coach Alex Pribble of Idaho, who played for Ben Braun, came to Cal as a walk-on in the mid-2000s, earned a scholarship, ended up becoming a captain for you.
He did, Roxy. You know, he was a fierce competitor. He was a great teammate and a leader, and he's always been a student of the game. He became a graduate assistant and just really soaked it up. And, you know, you can lean on him as a leader on the floor. You can see his teams reflect him with their demeanor and how they play. They're pesky. They're kind of a pain in the neck to play against.
Just admit it, and I'm not throwing shade in your son Julius, but you feel like a proud father tonight watching.
Yeah, there's no question. And my son Julius is watching this game, so I'm glad you mentioned that. He's heard Alex's name before.
Part of your coaching tree, you look at Dennis Gates at Missouri, who played and coached for you. Shante Leggins, the head coach at Portland, is a 3 from Brooklyn Hicks, and Montana takes the lead.
Yeah, it's really, you got to give Montana credit, Roxy. They were down almost double digits. They've come back. They've put some defense on their own on the floor. They throw a lot of schemes at you, and they stay connected. They do a great job on this end of the floor.
6 straight for the Grizz to seesaw in front. Shot clock inside 10. Isaiah Brickner spins off balance, and it's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Montana. Will stay down here. Idaho ball.
Yeah, you know, they're struggling to get a good look, but you can see now, you get Hicks open. He's really got a hot hand. He's just been in the moment. But the Vandals struggling to get a good look, again, mostly in part because of the Grizzlies' defense.
And this has been a work in progress this season defensively for Travis DeCuire. This team has gotten better and better defensively. In a steal, Tyler Isaac takes it to the bucket. Isaac in transition, and it's stripped by Nico Johnson, gets it back for the Vandals. Trail 3. Jackson Rasmussen comes up empty, and the rebound, Kenyon Owino for Montana.
Vandals have gone cold. They've luckily maintained some of the defense they started with. You better guard Williams.
Here he goes to the bucket, Money Williams.
Yeah, he's been quiet, and I can promise you this, he's not going to be quiet for long.
Even battling the stomach bug and gutting it out here tonight in Boise. 8-0 run and a 13-2 surge for Montana, and the rebound grab by Brooklyn Hicks for the Grizz.
Yeah, Vandals really off their rhythm. Can't get a good look on this end of the floor.
Stripped and a foul. That's the third on Jackson Rasmussen. With 4:06 left in the half of the Big Sky Freshman of the Year, 3 fouls.
So you saw the contact on the ball initially and then on the arm after it made contact with the ball. Alex Pribble talking to Randy McCall saying, look, my guy hit the ball, followed through onto the arm. Isn't that supposed to be legal? I can read his lips. Or maybe he's heard me say that.
Kenyon Owino, a 71% foul shooter, the freshman from Albuquerque, who was the 3-time New Mexico Gatorade Player of the Year.
Well, the Grizzlies forcing the Vandals to go deep in their bench, Roxy. I mean, unfortunately, the Vandals are not afraid to play their bench, but that's tough in a championship game to have your main guys on the bench, you know, and in some foul trouble.
Owino, and it's the largest lead for Montana.
Yeah, you just didn't think the game was trending this way at the start, but give the Grizzlies credit. They've turned things around midway through this half.
10-0 run for the Grizz. And a 15-2 surge. Spinning down low. And the layup missed by Isaiah Brickner. And ripping the rebound away was Kenyon Owino. And the alternating possession on the tie-up belongs to Idaho. Montana's come storming back from 10 down. The Grizz are up 5.
Get to halftime.
All right, guys, 3:50 left in the half. And Montana from 10 down now has a lead. Loose ball, hustling for it. Tyler Thompson, and it's out of bounds to Idaho. Battling with Miles Clapper. And Clapper wins the battle and gets the possession for the Vandals.
But now Travis DeCure is saying, you know, he got a little help. He didn't just trip on the floor out there and making his point. Boy, both coaches really demonstrative, Roxy, because, you know, there's been a lot of contact in this game, but it's been a battle defensively.
Denied at the rim. Hustle defensively from Montana. And a team that struggled early in the year defensively. As Money Williams on the move, and the rebound pulled down by Isaiah Brickner. But through the non-conference portion, Montana surrendered 85 points per game. Then when they got into league play, the second best defensive team in the Big Sky at around 73.5 points allowed per game. Back door. And down low, foul will send Jack Payne to the line.
Well, you got a rider, the Grizz, and I mean, the Vandals getting right to the rim and just being challenged. It's the Grizzlies that have turned it up defensively. You talk about their offensive prowess, shooting at about 49%. Travis DeCure's teams will always do that, but they're sneaky good defensively as well.
Jack Payne now 3 for 3 at the line. Foul was on Money Williams, his first, as Payne leads Idaho with 7.
Yeah, you can see the Vandals still a little tight. They getting the ball to the rim, just not finishing inside, and a little bit tentative. They were not this tentative in last night's victory, but the Grizzlies putting some pressure on them.
And with the fouls mounting, Brody Roberry, the starting center, with 2 fouls and 3 on Jackson Rasmussen, as a travel on Tajon Sawyer, and it goes to Idaho. It puts a lot more on the plate of Jack Payne, who needs to take on a bigger role here for Alex Pribble in Idaho.
Well, their whole team has to step up, but I like that last defensive scheme. You push Tajon Sawyer to the baseline, you could bring a double, you got a triple team along the baseline, and he travels.
8 Montana turnovers now.
Yeah, good defense.
Turnovers were a problem for them last night against Portland State. They let a big lead slip away and held on at the end as Isaiah Brickner goes to work again for the Vandals.
And he's going to have to step up. He's done that for Alex Pribble, but they're going to need him to step up and bring some offense to the table.
Montana last night led by as many as 19. Brickner a steal. Brickner attacks. Brickner glides in, and Idaho takes the lead.
Roxy must have heard us. He's right on cue. Makes the steal, gets the layup, and now it's the Vandals back in front. And the crowd is into this game.
A lot of black and gold made the trek down from Moscow, and a lot of Idaho grads here in Boise, about 5 hours away, as the rebound grabbed by Isaiah Brickner for Idaho.
Yeah, Colton Mitchell's been kind of quiet. You look for him to pick things up a little bit.
Mitchell on a step back, long two. And the rebound, Money Williams. He pushes for Montana. And a foul on Brickner before the shot. And that's the first on Isaiah Brickner.
It's actually a good foul. You can see Isaiah Brickner stepping in the pass, going all the way off his man, and just anticipating. That's what Alex Pribble's team will do. They'll step in passing lanes. They'll play one man over. They'll leave the furthest guy away from the ball, unguarded, almost making it look like a zone, and they'll step into your passing lanes. You got to be careful. Travis Secure spending a lot of his shoot around just getting his offensive schemes together.
7-team foul in Idaho, now in the bonus, so 1-1 for Brooklyn Hicks.
That's been an advantage for Montana. They've been able to get in the bonus, in large part because of Money Williams, who lives at the free throw line.
One more for Hicks. And Travis DeCure going deeper into his bench. Brings in the sophomore from Missoula, Connor Dick, checks in. Didn't play last night. And a legacy Grizzly, as his dad Ryan played for Montana. And the free throw's nailed by Brooklyn Hicks, and Montana, Seesaw's in front.
Yeah, you get the feeling both teams just kind of feeling each other out here. You know, low-scoring game, but they'll talk about it now. Both teams with the timeout.
Hey.
31-30 Montana as the Grizz in the Big Sky Championship game, the Starch Madness final for the 7th time under Travis DeCure. Montana has won the Big Sky Tournament Championship 12 times. And the road to the title game for Travis DeCure in Montana. And Money Williams 32 in the win against the Big Sky champs Portland State last night. And then 40 for Money Williams against Northern Colorado on Monday. Isaiah Brickner from deep. And the rebound grabbed by Montana and Connor Dick. And now the use it or lose it timeout taken by Travis DeCure. 1-point game, 1 minute to go, first half, downtown Boise.
When it was time to add my son to our car insurance, I was scared to even think about my wallet. But instead, with Drive Easy on the Geico app, my son's safe driving score saved us even more.
It feels good to take control of your wallet. It feels good to Geico.
Third straight season that Travis DeCure has had the Grizz in the Big Sky Championship. Year 12 at his alma mater is the all-time wins leader and the all-time assist leader as a player. With Montana, 4 regular season titles, twice has been named Big Sky Conference Coach of the Year, and you mentioned the ties to Cal that Alex Pribble had. Travis DeCure, for 6 years, was the top assistant to Mike Montgomery at California. And the rebound, batted around and out of the pack. Here comes Colton Mitchell. Jack Payne backs his way in. Too strong. Money Williams rips it down. Montana can play for the last shot of the half.
Yeah, that was a quick shot on that end. But, you know, you had chances again. I mean, that's a missed layup. Idaho has been doubling up Montana in the paint, but couldn't find a way to score it. Now, Montana, chance to get the last one going in with some momentum.
Money Williams. 5 seconds left in the half. Deep three from Money. And the rebound slapped out of bounds by Colton Mitchell. Takes us to halftime. 1-point game. Montana, Idaho. Starch Madness, the Big Sky Championship game in Boise. As we go to the Sargento halftime report. Zubin Mehenti, Coach Kevin Keats, and Coach Tom Crean in studio. You're watching Champ Week presented by Principal. It is Starch Madness in downtown Boise, the Big Sky Conference Tournament Championship game from Idaho Central Arena, getting ready to start the second half at a 1-point lead for Montana over Idaho. Along with Ben Braun and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. Back and forth first half. Idaho jumped out to a 10-point lead. Montana came back. 1-point game as we start the second half.
Well, both teams are really playing at a high level defensively, causing turnovers, tough shots. But it's been Tejon Sawyer that's been the big difference for Montana. He's been able to get into the paint, score up over the top. He's been kind of a hard matchup for the Vandals. They've done a good job and everybody else, but he's been the guy that Travis Secures put the ball in his hands, and he's made a difference for his team.
And they've needed him to step up as Money Williams, the leading scorer in the Big Sky this year, for Montana, averaging over 20 points per game, has been dealing with a stomach bug. Did have 7 points in the first half, so Sawyer stepped up for Montana when they needed him. They closed the half on a 21-10 run. Money Williams, there he is, scored the first 5 points. Williams had 40 in their quarterfinal win, and then 32 last night in their semifinal win. On the other side, the great start, but Idaho got in foul trouble.
And that was a big difference. But, you know, you talk about Money Williams, and why is he so valuable? Even when he's not scoring or he's not 100%, Roxy, he's still throwing 5 assists a game. It's not like Montana doesn't have some other guys that can play. So he's an unselfish player, and he's making his teammates better.
Right to the bucket. Money Williams missed the layup. Here comes Biko Johnson for the Vandals.
Well, you won't see that very often.
Jackson Rasmussen, the Big Sky freshman of the year, number 12 in black, starting the second half with 3 fouls. Foul on the floor before the shot, and it was on the drive against Montana.
Now players making a case now, as they should, that this is still a basket with the new rule that's in place. You're in the motion. They're counting that basket.
First on Kenyon Owino. And a foul before the inbound and a hold. It's again on Owino, who has just picked up 2 fouls without time going off the clock after going 20 plus without a foul.
Well, this is what the Vandals went through in the first half. Now Grizzlies looking like they may become a victim.
Isaiah Brickner leads Idaho with 9. On the drive, Rasmussen, and it's deflected out, and it belongs to Montana.
Well, you know, you look at the Vandals, Roxy, they've doubled up, more than doubled up in the paint of the Grizzlies, but they just haven't been able to score as many points. They've left a lot of baskets at the rim, haven't finished or haven't drawn fouls.
Money Williams weaves his way in. Off-balance runner, and the rebound tipped free and grabbed by the Vandals and Biko Johnson. Biko looks to attack. Fall away by Biko Johnson as Money Williams fell down, and Idaho takes the lead.
Yeah, officials said, get up. We're not going to call that one. Good job, I think, of officiating, letting the players play. And 2 players up top talking to one another like, come on, man. Love the competitive nature of these 2 teams.
Kenyon Owino backs his way in on Rasmussen, playing with 3 fouls. And the jump hook by Kenyon Owino.
Yeah, pretty shot, Roxy. I mean, you get both feet in the paint, you come up with that shot.
Montana reclaims the lead. Brody Rolebury from deep. And the rebound grabbed by Money Williams for the Grizz. Tejon Sawyer. The floater, and it's short from Brooklyn Hicks. Biko Johnson lost his footing, and he got a timeout before Tyler Thompson could tie him up. That saves the possession for the Idaho Vandals. 1-point lead Montana, early second half. NCAA bid on the line in Boise. Our Starch Madness Big Sky tournament bracket as Montana 3 straight nights they are playing after the Grizz beat the Big Sky champs Portland State last night. Idaho playing for the 4th time in 5 nights with wins over Sac State, Montana State, Eastern Washington to get to this championship game here in Boise. We look at the tickets punched already to the big dance earlier. McNeese and Lehigh getting through, and the Big Sky is the next automatic berth to be given out, and the winner of this one, and it's a 1-bid league, so the winner is the only one for the Big Sky doublehead to the NCAA tournament, and Idaho with a turnover.
That's a tough play coming out of the timeout. They've been pretty good coming out of timeouts, but now that's the 6th turnover for the Vandals as opposed now to Montana that's got 9.
Spinning inside with the left hand, Tajon Sawyer.
He's been delivering for his team, and they're continuing to put the ball in his hands to make a play.
Honorable mention, all Big Sky this year for Sawyer. And he's having a big night in this final of the Big Sky tournament.
Yeah, he's just a hard matchup, Roxy, because he's good inside. He uses his body. I mean, really can use either hand. He gets into the paint. He's comfortable. He puts it over the top of a big Roberry, and it's just a good shot. The Vandals struggling. They've only had 2 baskets so far off of assist, which means the Grizzlies are really defending well. Vandals got to find a way to score a little bit more easily.
Shot clock down to 7. Squaring up, and the jumper. Jackson Rasmussen's first points of the night.
He had a big night last night, and the whole team was hitting some shots, but it's been stingy playing against the Grizzlies. They haven't had many good looks.
He made 3 big threes in their semifinal win last night. Deflected and stolen by Idaho.
Another deflection for the Vandals.
Out of bounds, will stay at this end.
I like the activity from Idaho trying to go inside. Jackson Rasmussen trying to get some inside easy looks. There's been nothing easy so far for Idaho.
Brody Roberry left open. Hits a 3 off the inbound.
He said, look, I missed my first one. I'm not missing 2. You better come out here. And he'll take that shot.
He doesn't take many. Just his 11th made 3 this season, but 37%.
He knows his range. He knows when to take an open shot.
Tajon Sawyer. Jump hook by Sawyer rattles out, and Jackson Rasmussen pulls it down for the Vandals. Isaiah Brickner cuts through the key, and a foul will put Idaho at the line. How about the big man? Brody Roberry stepping out.
I love it, Roxy. He's a 37% three-point shooter, and it's not a fluke. He sizes it up. He nails it. The Vandals back on top.
Sleeps all week. Constantly updating his bracketology. Here are his top 2 seed lines, and no surprise, Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and how about the run Todd Golden and Florida have been on. And then the 2 line, UConn, Houston, Michigan State, Illinois. As the Big Sky championship here, the Vandals or the Grizz will punch their ticket. And one more free throw for Isaiah Brickner.
Well, Roxy, there's no joy like, coming from the conferences are going to send one team to the league from their league to the conference NCAA. I mean, there's just that joy, that elation is just unmatched in college basketball. That's what you're playing for tonight. You know the winner's going, and the loser is their season's pretty much over.
7 straight for Idaho. The leaner by Money Williams. First points of the second half.
He picks his spots. I mean, he may be quiet, but you're going to hear from him.
Pull-up three off the screen is off from Colton Mitchell.
He thought
and it's
he got
pulled down by Montana.
Thought he got fouled.
Vandals have outscored the Grizz 9-6 since halftime. And a whistle and a foul. And Idaho in disbelief. It's on Brickner. Second on Brickner.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of contact with the ball. Vandals saying, look, we've had a lot of contact this game. Williams trying to get a mismatch, trying to get a one-on-one opportunity, trying to send him to the baseline.
Corner three. And a miss from Tajon Sawyer. Jackson Rasmussen. Spins underneath, and the reverse goes for Rasmussen.
That's the second time now he's gotten an isolation on the block, and he's made use of it. He scored it on the reverse side, on the opposite side.
And an offensive foul.
Good job by Brickner, gluing up to his man and absorbing the contact, and of course selling it. Nice job. But here you can see it. I mean, you can see the bottom part of the screener's body moving. That's an offensive, that's a foul.
First on Trey Taylor of Montana. Inside 14 minutes to play. 11th turnover for the Grizz tonight. Shot clock inside 10 for the Vandals. Rasmussen. Across the key, wave it off. A foul first on the move-in. And it's the second on Tajon Sawyer of Montana.
Well, much like the Grizzly going to Sawyer, the Vandals now are going inside to Rasmussen. They think they've got a mismatch on the block. They're doing a nice job of isolating him. Draw fouls.
And taken away. Here comes Tyler Thompson for Montana. Spins in the lane. Thompson banks it in, and a strong finish. First points of the night for the redshirt freshman Tyler Thompson. Brickner back the other way. Isaiah Brickner.
He's asking Randy McCall, can I get a little love? I'm going to foul. I got tapped.
Three. Tajon Sawyer.
Well, you wonder when both teams are going to start loosening up here and starting to find their range. I think we're into that mode now.
Sawyer leads all scorers with 15. The flip, Colton Mitchell will get to the line. On both sides, the offense starting to pick it up.
Well, it's flowing, and obviously, you know, the players that have made plays for their teams are doing so, but you can see Sawyer, you know, he's got that range. You've got to guard him out on the floor, but Colton Mitchell gets by his guys. He really can drive, knows how to get to the free throw line.
Foul on Tyler Isaac.
And he had such a big game last night. He's been relatively quiet. That's in large part because of the Grizzly defense, but the Vandals are going to have to find some other ways to get on the board. They've gotten more shot attempts up, almost 10 more shot attempts up than the Grizzlies. They just haven't been able to convert.
7 now for Colton Mitchell. He had 26 in the semifinal win over Eastern Washington last night.
Now, Money Williams is being face guarded right now. I mean, they're playing 4-on-4.
The block shot, Isaiah Brickner.
Yeah, they're playing 4-on-4, so if you can stop the other guys, take Money Williams out, they kind of like their odds.
Step back, Brickner thought about it. Now Mitchell will pull the trigger on a three. And here comes Money Williams for the Grizz. Money to the bucket, and he's fouled by Trayvon Blasingame.
Here's that block shot here. And here's the play by Money Williams. They're saying there's a lot of ball there. Well, sometimes they say, Roxy, the ball doesn't lie, so maybe it doesn't.
Money Williams, an 86% foul shooter.
Yeah, I got to think that he's still feeling some of the effects of the dehydration today, not being able to practice being on his feet and he's played a lot of minutes, but it's tough when you're under the weather.
Dealing with a stomach bug. Williams missed both.
Yeah, it doesn't happen when you're 87%. So
he barely went through shoot-around this morning and left early. He was barely on the floor warming up pregame with his team.
Well, give him credit. He's out here battling still. He's still making a difference for his team.
Trying to gut it out. Biko Johnson. And Brody Roberry underneath and a putback.
And how valuable is Brody Roberry? He just anchored the offensive glass, held his ground, didn't go over the back, and scored it.
Largest lead of the second half of the Vandals, who led by as many as 10 in the first half. Corner three. They hit the side of the backboard from Tyler Isaac. Biko Johnson. And the rebound grabbed by Trevon Blasingame goes right back in for Idaho. Roberry fouled underneath.
Brody Roberry feeling his way, making his presence known on the inside. That's a big guy. He's able to score it, get fouled. Looking for it. The Grizz trailing Vandals.
Isaiah Brickner has come alive tonight in the championship game for Idaho.
He's made some big shots, and he did this in the previous night. I mean, he's out there. He's not only making shots, Roxy, he's on the glass. He's in the passing lanes. He's converting in transition. I mean, he's just been a real added benefit to his team as he's getting up and down the floor asking for fouls. I mean, he did that last night, and it was huge. And you know, they've needed somebody to step up. This is a game where both coaches have taken away the offensive rhythm, and these two coaches will do that. They are great defensive coaches, so you've got to find some ways, manufacture some ways to score.
2 shots for Brody Roberry, second foul on Money Williams. And Roberry, a 70% foul shooter. Former Idaho Gatorade Player of the Year. He's from Meridian, Idaho. And he rattles into second. 8 points tonight for Roberry.
Tejan Sawyer has been the story for the Grizzlies. Let's see if they continue to go back, put the ball in his hands.
Money Williams not on the floor right now for the Grizz. In the lane, the gather, and a foul, and 2 free throws coming for Tyler Thompson.
Well, I like the curl cut action that Travis DeCure put into play. I mean, that's good action. You're coming off, but here's the move to the basket and the foul. I mean, he came clean off the curl cut.
4th foul on Jackson Rasmussen with 10:41 to play. There's Travis DeCure talking to Money Williams.
He's going to try to give him a rest as well, but you know, when you're playing against an aggressive defense, and the Vandals are aggressive defensively, there's 2 things you can do. One, you can drive it, and they're not giving it to you, or you can try to come off hard on curl cuts, and they're using that now.
Look at the Big 12 tournament bracket, and TCU got a scare from Oklahoma State. Came back and beat them. Arizona, UCF tomorrow. And BYU putting it together as Kevin Young kind of had to reinvent the Cougars after the injury to Richie Saunders.
Well, that's what this time of year is about. You find ways to win. You can wipe the season out. Now it's a whole new season.
Isaiah Brickner in the lane. Couldn't get the teardrop to go, and ripped away by Tyler Thompson from Montana.
Yeah, good look. Point blank at the basket, but good challenge.
Pass deflected, a good read by Jack Payne. And a steal for Idaho.
That's the 12th turnover now that the Vandals have forced on the Grizzlies, who don't generally turn it over very much.
Inside the spin, and Brickner was looking for a call, but followed up. Seth Joba.
Roxy, that's their 10th offensive rebound. They're pounding the offensive glass. Something, again, that Grizzlies don't give up much.
Off a screen, Brooklyn Hicks rattles a 3 out, and the rebound grab by Seth Joba for Idaho. Nico Johnson goes up, left it short. Tyler Thompson pulls it down. And a foul off the ball, and it's on Seth Joba in the post of Idaho.
Well, it's been a physical game. There's a lot of pounding going on, battling for position. Both guys really trying to establish themselves on the block. The bench is going to be key in this game. So far, the Idaho has come off the bench, scored double figures.
Idaho had 6 guys on the court.
That's one way to get an advantage, but they better get out there because that'll turn into a disadvantage with the tee. Seen that happen.
Well, Idaho has some familiarity with this building as Monty Williams short on the 3. It's pulled down by Brody Roebury. But Idaho, this is their 7th game already this season in this building.
Yeah, they played well here.
Had a tournament here around Thanksgiving. Played an exhibition game preseason against Boise State. And then the 4th game in 5 nights in this tournament. Shot clock at 5. Brody Roebury gets the flyby. Steps in. 3!
That brought this crowd to its feet, Roxy. Big fella from 3. That's his 2nd bomb. Nothing but net. Wow.
Montana now down 10 as the Vandals have matched their largest lead of the night. And the partisan Idaho fans making a lot of noise right now in downtown Boise.
Yeah, you want to get these fans up on their feet? How about the big fella draining a 3? Now they got to defend.
That'll silence the Idaho fans.
Yeah.
And Monty Williams going to work.
And how many times has he silenced crowds through his career, especially this season late?
Monty Williams has just tied the Big Sky tournament scoring record. 83 points in this tournament. After the 40 points in the first Montana game here in this tournament. Brody Roebury down the lane, and a foul. Brody Roebury inserting himself into the conversation.
Well, he said, look, I might not be getting layups, but I'm going to knock it down from deep. Roebury putting his team on his back and in the lead.
Pizza Hut right now is off.
Well, here are the tournament numbers for Monty Williams, who has tied the Big Sky tournament scoring record with its 11 points so far in this ball game, and he is battling a stomach bug. And with some question if Montana would even have him tonight because of what he's dealing with. Barely slept last night, didn't really partake in shoot around this morning, barely warmed up pregame, and is trying to stick it out and fight it out with his group here tonight. One more for Brody Roebury.
So much of Idaho's game prep was with Monty Williams in mind. I mean, you just have to devise your defensive schemes around what he does.
Missed the second, and the rebound grab, Tyler Isaac for Montana. And here is Williams, who first team all-league, leading scorer in the Big Sky. And a kid that's been through so much off the floor in his young life as Money Williams darts to the basket and a lay-in for Williams.
There's something a little different that possession. They put the ball in Williams' hands early. He's being face guarded in the half court, so they immediately got the ball in his hands in the back court.
Shot clock down to 10. Trayvon Blasingame, three!
And he can do that. Blasingame, a 40% three-point shooter, finding his range.
Ten-point lead. Here's Money Williams. Drives. Williams leans in, draws contact. The second on Blasingame and 2 free throws coming.
Trayvon Blasingame, the junior out of Washington, Auburn, Washington, when he gets his feet set, he's money. But here, speaking of money, this is what Money Williams does. I mean, he's gone to the line in some games 20 times, and he just really is a load inside. He's got a big body, he can use his hands, pump fake, and his dribble takes him where he wants to go.
Mentioned that he's been through so much in his young life. And Money Williams, within the last 3 years, has lost both of his parents. His father, Money, and his mom, Latoya. And when she passed away his freshman year, he stepped away from the team. He was injured at the time. But to go home and help out with the family, and Money Williams has had a lot on his shoulders to deal with, and you feel for him and what he's gone through. And it's rewarding to see him playing so well and be a first-team All-League performer.
Well, he grew up in Oakland, product of Oakland High, and he's just, you know, he's made a name for himself, but he's worked for it, and he's done it without a lot of advantages in his life.
For Idaho.
He's been quiet, but he's not quiet in a big moment. He'll make plays. Doesn't matter what he's done during throughout the course of the game. He'll put the ball in his hands. He's not afraid to make a play.
Money Williams looks to move in. Hounded by Miles Clapper. Corner three. And the rebound. Isaiah Brickner.
Well, that's the game plan. You want to try to get it out of Money Williams' hands and hope the other team's not, rest of the team is knocking down shots.
Vandals up 10 with the ball. Miles Clapper the pull-up, and the rebound grab by Tyler Isaac. On the drive to the bucket and the reverse lay-in, Brooklyn Hicks.
Yeah, he's made big baskets for his team as well.
Right to the cup, and the teardrop. Isaiah Brickner. Back to a 10-point lead, matching the largest of the night for Idaho.
That's a big basket. I mean, just when you think Montana's making a move, Idaho comes right back, says not so fast. We enjoy this league. You can see Hicks. Brooklyn Hicks has been able to take a bigger opponent. No match for him with his quick dribble, but there's Brickner is able to get up over the top. He's athletic. He hangs in the air. He'll go up in the air. You'll go up in the air. He's just going to hang up in the air longer.
Look at the SEC men's tournament quarterfinals coming up on Friday, with the second round coming your way tomorrow. And all those games on SEC Network. Some interesting games in the SEC tournament today. 10-point lead for Idaho, 5:09 to go. The Vandals are in a championship game in their conference for the first time since 2014. They were in the WAC at the time as they went away from the Big Sky from 1997 through 2015. The last time they were in the Big Sky championship game, 1993.
Yeah, that's been some years.
And they haven't won the Big Sky tournament since 1990. And the layup missed by Tyler Thompson.
Well, you want another statistic? They haven't beaten the Grizzlies in 9 straight as well.
Brickner is fouled.
So they've got a lot that they're playing for to try to get back on a winning track. And Alex Pribble's not far away from that now with his Vandals.
2 free throws for Isaiah Brickner. 2 for 2 at the line tonight. 4 years as the head coach at Division II St. Martin's. Alex Pribble went to 2 NCAA tournaments. He's been an assistant at Eastern Washington, Seattle U, Cal, Division II San Francisco State. Came to Cal and played for Ben Braun as a walk-on, earning a scholarship. And now in his 3rd season as the head coach of the Idaho Vandals.
Well, we talked about this last night, but it's worth mentioning again. I mean, he put Alex in the game. He's a walk-on, had to fill in for an injured Richard Ridgely, who took us to a tournament, hit a game-winning shot in the tournament. Alex Pribble gets us a road win at UCLA. That's the type of competitor he is.
And the loose ball, the offensive rebound, Jack Payne for Idaho.
Well, now they can have time is on their side. They don't need to be in a hurry. The Grizzlies are going to have to pick up their defense now and try to get some turnovers.
Largest lead of the night. Brickner way short on the 3. And it goes out of bounds to Montana with 4.5 to go.
Well, the good news is they got it down to 2 seconds. Bad news is they aired it. But this is going to come down to defense, Roxy. If you want to secure a championship, get a chance to play in the NCAA tournament, you're going to have to get some stops. And especially against a team as powerful and offensively efficient as the Grizzlies are. Almost a 50% field goal percentage shooting team.
Driving to the bucket, hanging, and a foul will send Connor Dick to the line for the Grizz.
Now, that's not a bad foul because he was about to get a layup, but stops the clock and allows the Grizzlies now to set their defense and put their pressure, extend their pressure.
Second on Seth Joba. Connor Dick, a 76% foul shooter. The lone Montana native on the roster for Travis DeCure. One more for Connor Dick.
The Vandals have only given up 2 offensive rebounds, which is a great statistic. But you got to box out on the rebounds, and you got to try to not give the Grizzlies second chance opportunities.
Connor Dick, who played high school ball about a half mile up the road from Dahlberg Arena in Missoula at Hellgate High School. And he hits both free throws. Montana trying to make a push, down 9. Ten to shoot for the Vandals. Isaiah Brickner spinning through the lane, and a foul on Grant Kepley of Montana. 9-point game, 3:47 to go in the state capital, downtown Boise. The Grizz, the Vandals, Starch Madness, NCAA tournament bid on the line. Champ Week, ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement benefits plan that works for your team. Well, the winner of our Starch Madness final in Boise will hear their name called on Selection Sunday, and we've got you covered. It all starts at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with SportsCenter on ESPN. Reese and the guys will look at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced, followed by bracketology and breakdowns of each region. Then at 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed. A complete breakdown of each matchup. That's at 9 Eastern, Sunday on ESPN.
Well, Roxy, the great thing about March Madness and Sundays are a lot of teams are just wanting their name to be called. Other teams want to see who they're playing. They want to see what their path is to a Final Four, maybe a national championship. And so it means different things to different teams. But for these 2 teams here, winning this game means the world, and just a chance to advance and play in the tournament is what they're playing for. No better feeling.
2 shots for Isaiah Brickner.
You know, only 10 combined assists in this game, which means both teams have had to manufacture shots. The problem for the Grizzlies, Money Williams is the guy that manufactures shots, and there's nobody better. So they're going to have to find other ways to score against the Vandals to get back in this game.
Game high. 18 for Brickner tonight.
There's that face guard.
Money Williams. And the pass deflected. And it's picked up Colton Mitchell, and Idaho takes it away.
They didn't have 2 guys on Money Williams, Roxy. They had 3. They had a face guard and then a double team and even a triple team to get it out of his hands.
Shot clock at 5. Isaiah Brickner goes to work again. Brickner missed the layup, got it back, and throws it up. Another offensive rebound for Idaho, and Money Williams tied up Jack Payne, and the arrow belongs to Idaho.
That's good hustle. I mean, there's scrapping. There's some contact. Wow. I mean, this game is on the line. Tough take by Brickner. Gets his own rebound, can't get it up, and now you can see the battle for the ball. Money Williams still battling, Rocky. You know he's not 100%, but he ties that ball out. Unfortunately, goes to the Vandals, and they'll have more time. They can tick off this clock. They've got 20.
Shot clock approaching 10. Isaiah Brickner using a screen. And a tie-up. We're going the other way.
That's a good call. Great defense by the Grizzlies. They needed to stop, and they got one. And Alex Fribbles just asked his team for 1 stop, but that's just good defense. Good help side defense. Sawyer, good job of not fouling.
Tajon Sawyer rims out the 3. Isaiah Brickner the rebound. That's
he's all over.
A double-double for Brickner. 18 points, 10 rebounds. Loose ball, diving for it. And we get a timeout from Idaho before the tie-up.
That's a heads-up play because you don't want to, even though it's their ball, you think it's their ball, you want to make sure you maintain possession.
Brody Roberry, the big man for Idaho, he's come through with some big plays tonight.
Well, he sure has. I mean, I covered him when he was at Southeastern Louisiana, and he's made a big difference for his team. He's knocked down threes. He's screened for his teammates. He's gotten offensive rebounds. He's made free throws. He's just done it all. When he stays out of foul trouble, he can be a factor for the Vandals. If you are the Grizzlies right now, you have got to get on the board. You've got to find some other ways. Money Williams, again, we've said it, not 100%. You got to try to get down the floor, score it, and get to the free throw line and make use of your possessions best you can.
The Idaho women already won the automatic berth for the Big Sky to the women's big dance. And now the men trying to do the same in downtown Boise at the expense of Travis DeCure and Montana. 11-point lead for Idaho and the Bulls. Colton Mitchell had it poked away, but a foul on the Grizz.
That's good ball possession. Put the ball in Colton Mitchell's hands. He's pretty sure ball handler and pretty tough free throw shooter. You know, you feel for Travis DeCure. I mean, we saw him in shoot around today, and he knew that Money Williams was, he may be doubtful, not 100%, made no excuses, said it is what it is, but we're going to show up, we're going to play. And he's been the benchmark in this league. He's taken his team here more than anybody, been to tournaments, been to championships. This will be a big win if the Vandals can hold on.
One more for Colton Mitchell. He missed them both.
Now doors open.
Dejon Sawyer underneath. Sawyer and one. Strong finish inside.
Well, that's just what the Grizzlies needed. They're not knocking down the three from the perimeter, but they're able to get it maybe the old-fashioned way. Dejon Sawyer has been a thorn in the Vandals' side all game long. And the Grizzlies have had the presence of mind to continue to go to him.
Third on Brody Roberg. Money Williams right now on the bench for Montana. That tells you all you need to know and where he's feeling.
Yeah, they got to play the foul game now. Yeah, that's disheartening. It's hard to watch. You know, you feel for Money Williams. I mean, he's played as well as any player in postseason play. Would he put up 40 and 30 and not able to go tonight, giving it his all? But he's a class kid. He's been through a lot in his life. And he's a winner, Roxy.
Fourth on Tyler Isaac. Trayvon Blasingame.
Yeah, he's not done yet. I mean, I know those players. I've had him on my bench. He's saying, Coach, please, this is my last go round. Put me in the game. I got to go out the way I need to go out. And if you are the Vandals, you don't want to foul and stop the clock. You got to get back, clog the lane, force outside shots, and secure defensive rebounds, which they've done this game.
Blasingame nails both, back to an 11-point game. Montana goes inside, timeout Grizz.
Well, that's how easy it is for Money Williams. I mean, there was no deterrence there. He gets to the rim, he's big, he's strong. I mean, he takes it down. You know, in the half court, they deny him, they face guard him. You get him the ball in the back court, now you got to do something with him. They set a back screen for him to get this basket. Kind of, we call it a flat ball screen in the middle of the floor.
Timeout Montana, game down to 9.
Well, you can go
1:44 to go. If you're Montana, how do you play this defensively?
You can go for a steal. You don't have to make the immediate foul, but if you can't get the steal, you can't get the turnover, either a 10-second ball, a jump ball, which would be their possession, or a turnover, you probably now, with the 10 seconds off the clock, now you've got to play the foul game. Can't afford 30 to go off the clock. Too many possessions.
66-57 Vandals.
Possession arrow is important. I think the Vandals have it in their favor. But you just got to, you know, getting the ball inbounds, #1 priority.
Vandals trying to end a long drought and getting back to the NCAA tournament and avoiding the 5-second call, forcing Jack Payne to call time.
Yeah, good play. Jack Payne runs the baseline. A lot of players freeze, forget to do so, and you're counting in your head. 1,001, 1,002. You get to 4, you got to call that timeout.
For the recent champions of Starch Madness and the Big Sky, and last year Montana with the win as the Grizz trying to go back-to-back. Montana State had a really good run. Eastern Washington with David Riley making the NCAA tournament. And of course, in the 2020 season, the tournament canceled because of COVID. And prior to COVID, another Montana win.
Well, Travis DeCure has been that guy, and he's recognized not just in this conference, but nationally for what he's done. I mean, every year in and year out, he's the benchmark. So a lot of respect, Alex Preble, a lot of respect for Travis DeCure and his staff. He's talked about it through his years here. Obviously followed him when he was so instrumental in getting Cal to their Pac-12 championship. Very instrumental in that. So Travis DeCure now trying to get his team to rally here. They're going to have to come up with the basketball. They were able to force a 5-second call. That would be great if they could do it again. I mean, almost force a 5-second call. Be great if they could get one here to gain another possession. Vandals have to secure the ball, but they must get it in.
Out of timeouts now, the Vandals. With 1:44 to go, the baseball pass. Isaiah Brickner links up the floor, hammers it home.
When in doubt, go long.
Huge shot for the Grizz.
They're not going away, Roxy. I mean, winners have pedigree. They just don't forget how to win. Well, what do you do against pressure? First thing you do is you make teams have to guard you long. You always take off. We always send a player long. If their defender goes with you, then you come back to the ball or you find somebody else. But you have to attack the basket. A lot of teams forget to do so. You think that's going to put the game away, but the Grizzlies say not so fast. They come right back and answer with a tough three.
First points of the night for Grant Kepley.
Yeah, now if you're the Grizzlies, you got to play with 1 foot behind. You just can't allow the Vandals to go deep and punish you.
The native of San Diego, Isaiah Brickner, a transfer from Marist. His second year at Idaho after 2 years back east at Marist. As a sophomore, he stood out in the All-MAC, the MAAC tournament team with Marist, and then came back out west, and he has responded with a huge performance in this championship game here tonight in Boise.
Well, he's been a go-to guy, but he's an unselfish player, Roxy. He averages 12 and 4, but he's shooting almost 45% from 3, and he's about 75 from the line. And he's an excellent ball handler. There's not a lot that he can't do. And at 6'4", 190 with a couple of years of experience under his belt, he's been the guy that Alex Bribble has pointed to as his kind of floor leader with the addition of Colton Mitchell. Nice to have 2 guys that can individually handle the ball and separate for you. And those 2 guys can do that. Again, if you're the Grizzlies, try to get a 5 count.
86 seconds remain. 8-point game.
Well, he can run the baseline. The official reminding him, you can run, big fella.
And they get it into Jack Payne. Well, trickery on the inbound pass from Alex Bribble. And they foul with 1:13. It's on Tyler Thompson, and Brickner will go to the line.
Roxy, a lot of fans don't know, but you can go underneath the basket. Something you practice. That's your special situation. They're denying you hard. You step out of bounds, and you make that pass, and then the inbounder steps in. He was wide open. It's a great way to fight pressure. Great.
One more for Brickner.
Here's what we're talking about. There's Brickner going underneath. You got to make sure you get it inbounds, but that's a game changer. I mean, you had trouble getting in. You had a 5 count. You got to come up with something. That's in the coach's playbook, something your team has to practice.
Brickner leading Idaho with 21. In each of the 4 games in this tournament, the Vandals have had a different leading scorer. And the rebound, attacking the glass and going down hard was Monty Williams. And a foul on Idaho with 1:06 remaining.
Well, there was a scrum in there. You had about 10 guys going for the basketball. There's a scramble. I mean, everybody going for the ball in there.
Third on Isaiah Brickner. It's a 1-and-1. The 18th foul in Idaho, and Monty Williams at the line. 2 for 4 at the line tonight with 17 points.
And he missed 2 earlier, so you got to box out.
Big Sky tournament record for scoring. Monty Williams battling for a significant stomach bug tonight. And the Oakland, California native now with 19. Reminder, no timeouts remaining for Idaho.
Well, they got to get it in now.
And Montana also no timeouts left. And a foul, and it's Brickner back to the line.
But he's so fast, Roxy. I mean, one-on-one, you can't guard him. You almost got to put 2 guys on him. He's quick. He can handle it. He can get out of trouble with his dribble, his escape dribble. Now, if he can knock some free throws down, create further separation, he's going to get his team one step closer to the dance.
2 shots for Brickner. First foul on Connor Dick of Montana.
Now, one thing you can say about Alex Pribble, and obviously I've known him and I've known Travis Secure, both of these coaches, they have tremendous demeanor on the sideline. I mean, they very seldom do they get rattled. They are always in a position to talk calmly to the officials, at least most of the time. But they really command and exude confidence, but really class on the sideline. They let their players play. You're the Grizz now. You got to come down again. One more score. No timeouts.
To the basket, reverse lane, Grant Kepley. The double team comes. And they foul Trevon Blasingame. 2 shots at the other end. Second on Tyler Thompson.
Well, still. Yeah, I mean, the Grizzlies scoring very easily. That's been 2 times now they've used that flat ball screen, and the Vandals haven't seen it. You got to talk. The person setting that screen's got to tell you it's there. But you got to know, and Alex Pribble is going to take this time to talk to his team to say, look, we can't allow a 3-4 second layup.
The officials are going to the monitor across the way. There's a clock issue to make sure it's correct. Idaho by 7. Right now it says 50.7 seconds remaining, and Trevon Blasingame, who is a 64% foul shooter on the year, 2 for 2 tonight, will shoot 2 here for the Vandals.
Yeah, big difference when you're shooting 2 from the confidence level. You know, a lot of times late situations, Roxy, you can go and set up a zone. And you can see this, the clock is running a little bit after this. They want to go back and put that time back on the clock. But if you're the Vandals, you want the time to run. So the last thing you want to do is give up a quick 2. Here, you got to make the Grizzlies pass it a few times or even take an outside shot.
With the implosion of the Pac-12, do we dare call this Big Sky After Dark?
Yeah, I'm not going there. I'll let you handle that one. But Roxy, this has been, I mean, these 2 teams have earned their right to be here. The atmosphere here in Boise has been great. It's a full house. I mean, you've got fans. Saw a lot of Grizzly fans today. Saw a lot of Idaho fans.
They're going to put some time back on the clock because right there, the basket. It's just a question of when did it go through.
How about 59?
Because if it went through under a minute, they would stop the clock on the made basket. But over a minute, it continues to run. But then it also continued to run after the foul was committed.
Yeah, I think they're
looking at 2 separate issues right here with the clock.
Good point. Appeared to be 59, but they got to get this right. The game's, it's just too much at stake here.
And Montana, a proud program, has won this tournament 12 times. 13 NCAA tournament trips for the Grizz. And Travis Secure, the all-time wins leader, and just a tremendous history of coaches at Montana that now he is the guardian of this program. And you go back through the years, Wayne Tinkle, Larry Kristoviak, Mike Montgomery, Judd Heathcote, Blaine Taylor, Stu Morrill.
Yeah, I mean, it goes on and on. I coached against about every one of those except, I think, Wayne Tinkle and probably Larry Kristoviak. The other 6 guys, Mike Montgomery, saw enough of all those guys. They're winners, and they built this program up, and the tradition is carried on, and Travis Secure has been a big part now of that lasting tradition. Well, they're taking their time. Again, officials going to come over and give us an explanation.
They put the clock at 56.2. It was stopped too early. Or not early enough, twice. And that's why it's 56.2 to go. And 2 shots for Blasingame here. And Blasingame, that was pure.
Well, now, again, make or miss, Roxy. You got to get back, and you just can't allow a 3 or 4 second shot to fall. You got to stop the ball and force a few passes and an outside shot. You don't want to let him get to the basket.
Money Williams to the hoop, shovels it, and the drop in, Tajon Sawyer.
Second time, 3rd time in a row that's happened. It's just too quick.
19 for Sawyer tonight. Having trouble getting it in and no timeout. Blasingame is bumped immediately.
But again, there's no time going off the clock, so that's why you're not playing the score as much as you are the time. You've got to make some time tick, and you can't do it when you're on offense because they're fouling you, but you can do it defensively. Alex Prebble's talking to his guys, saying, guys, get in there. Wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a zone of some sort just to pack the paint a little bit.
Trayvon Blasingame back to the line. Averages 3.5 points per game, and he has 10 tonight. And the rebound grab by Tajon Sawyer.
They're in his zone.
And Money Williams
left
the ball behind. Picked up. Colton Mitchell. Just trying to kill some more clock. Jack Payne is fouled with 37 and change.
And Roxy, that zone made a difference, and that's why you play a zone. You set up a 2-3. The ball handler greets two defenders. You got a big guy at the basket and two wings pinching in. You're not getting a layup. That's a smart move by Alex Pribble. Made a difference, caused a turnover.
Fourth on Grant Kepley.
Here it is. You got three guys on the perimeter who are greeting Money Williams with the ball. He's not getting to the rim. So even though you're missing free throws, you're at least letting time go off the clock. Wouldn't be surprised to see the same formation again.
1 for 2, Jack Payne.
Here it is, 2-3 zone.
Grant Kepley forces up a three. And Colton Mitchell grabs it.
And that should do it, Roxy, if he can just make some free throws and not turn it over. The zone very effective last two possessions.
24.6 to go. In Idaho, the Vandals have not been to the NCAA tournament since 1990. 36 years ago.
Yeah, and Roxy, I got to tell you, it's your fan base. As a coach, I know how Alex Pribble is feeling. You're happy. Yeah, you're getting there. It's your first NCAA. He's played in an NCAA. He's been there as a coach, been there as a player. You're happy for your players. You're happy for your fans, your alumni. I mean, your student body. There's no greater feeling to bring joy to all the people that you work for and work with.
Money Williams missing a three. The rebound grab by the Grizz. Tyler Thompson forces up a three. Last touch by Montana, and with 15 seconds to go, the Idaho Vandals will punch their ticket to the big dance. Montana will not foul. They will let it run out. Alex Pribble and the Idaho Vandals, for the first time since 1990, Idaho is going to the NCAA tournament. Celebrate with the men's team. The double dip for Idaho. They're both going dancing. Now the Idaho fans have to figure out which team they're going to follow.
Roxy, why not? I mean, you spread the wealth right here. There's no greater feeling. It doesn't happen very often. Idaho's doing this for the first time, and the men and the women. Montana's done it countless times. But this is their moment. This is a big day for Masco, Idaho. It's a big day for the state of Idaho, the big capital letter I. You got to really enjoy this. And again, hats off to Alex Pribble and his staff and his players who have worked so hard. They've been knocking on the door. They're finally here. You can see finally a smile from Coach Pribble. But boy, his players are proud, Roxy, as they should be.
21st win for Idaho. The Vandals trailed by 1 at the half, and they took it over in the second half. Put up 47 points after the break in a 77-66 win. Idaho will enter the NCAA tournament with 5 straight wins, winners of 7 of their last 8, and now you can put the Idaho Vandals in the field of 68.
Well, they deserve it, Roxy. They beat a very good, well-coached Montana Grizzly team. But Roxy, I'll tell you, I've been in this situation as a high major coach, mid-major coach. These are harder to get into because you have to win. You're not getting in and out large. You're not, your schedule and your net rankings aren't getting you in. You must win this game. And first you got to get here.
And the pressure in a one-bid league, which you talked about. And that's what Idaho and Montana were facing tonight. The Grizz had been there before.
Well,
but tonight, Travis DeCure's season ends. They had a great season, a terrific run here in Boise. Unfortunately, their leading scorer, the top scorer in the Big Sky, was battling a stomach bug, was not himself tonight. But it doesn't take away from what Idaho accomplished here. 36-year drought ended, and the Vandals are going dancing.
Now they've earned their spot, Roxy. They punched the ticket. They earned their right. And again, I saw some tears of joy there. That's the emotions that run. It's jubilation, especially when you haven't been there before. This is just a big moment. I mean, the alumni, this is in the books. You're going to remember this for a while. So you enjoy this moment. You got to kind of get back down to earth and find out now who you're playing and where you're playing. You'll worry about that later. Right now, you are dancing.
Tremendous performance by Isaiah Brickner tonight. 23 points to lead the way for the Vandals. And it's incredible. They had a different leading scorer in each of their 4 Starch Madness tournament wins. And tonight, it was Brickner that stepped up, and the senior came through in a huge way.
And that's a great point, Roxy. Alex Pribble's team is built on balance. It's not a one-man show. They do a great job, but I think you got to give your hat, maybe the game ball today, to Isaiah Brickner, because he really stepped up for his team.
And he also had a double-double, his first of the season, 23 points, 10 rebounds, leading the way, and Idaho is going dancing. Long drought ended by Alex Pribble and the Idaho Vandals. They win the Big Sky Tournament Championship in Starch Madness in Boise. Thank you to the Big Sky, a phenomenal event to be a part of. They did a tremendous job here in downtown Boise. For my partner, Ben Braun, and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein, so long from Boise. The Vandals are headed to the big dance.